Testing, testing. All right. Hey, what up, MJ? Sorry, I'm just trying to get set up here. Gotta get my iPad stand. Because I laid in bed before, man, I woke up early. And wrote a bunch of stuff down, and it turned into a story time. So we're gonna get right into it here. The studio. Make sure. Aha! The camera always. Look at my hair. Where's my golf hat? I was golfing this morning. Got a lot of stuff on the go today. I don't want to wear my golf hat because it's freaking soaked in sweat. Are we centered? Are we centered? What is going on, guys? MJ, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. We got a good one for you guys today. We got story time. We got a little bit of history. We got a little bit of reminding to do. Some of these Detroit Lions fans. And even some Vikings fans. Got to remind ourselves what we really are. I got my iPad here. Let me get that set up. That way I can get my notes going. And then we will get started. I hope everybody's doing good. Welcome to the Purple and Goals Bar Show. Oh, you know what? Let me move. Get rid of all these slides from yesterday's show, and we'll get started here in just a moment. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, because we are on the road to 500 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna have any notes or anything like that for us here. Oh, look at that. As soon as we blow this up, the left side doesn't look as clear. That's all right. I'm gonna put the thumbnail there for you guys to keep an eye on. We don't got any slides. Mr. Mike Sports Vibes, thank you for joining me, man. I got a heck of a story for us today. Hopefully it won't drag on, but we're about to start here. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, everybody. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. And every day we're going to be going live, roughly between 3:30 and 4:30 every single day. On the weekends, it's going to be a little bit different, right? Because we got a whole bunch more responsibilities to take account of, right? So today we're starting a little bit late too. I kind of got hung up in Mr. Mike Sports Vibes live today, so ended up just taking a little bit slower to set up the live and get this thumbnail going. But we got a good one for you guys. Here we go. All right, guys. Thank you for stopping by, and let's get into story time, guys. You know, these Detroit Lions have definitely been puffing out their chest in recent weeks, in the last couple of years. They think they're building a dynasty. History says otherwise. And as a Vikings fan, I can tell you, my team and theirs might be both chasing the Super Bowl. But that's where the similarities end. Let's start with a little bit of a history lesson. We'll start with the Detroit Lions and the cycle of collapse that is a reoccurring trend that, these delusional Lions fans can't help but ignore. Let's start with the 1950s, guys. Pre the Super Bowl era, these Detroit Lions won 3 NFL championships in 52, 53, and 57. They looked like a powerhouse. But what came shortly after? The collapse. And no playoff wins for 34 years. Ouch. That's one hell of a drought. Now let's fast forward to the 90s, to the Barry Sanders era. In 91, they reached the NFC Championship game, but sadly, they got blown out by Washington. They made the playoffs in 5 of 7 years. And outside of that NFC Championship game, they couldn't get past the wild card, let alone the divisional round. And what happened right when they thought they could regroup and push to try to break through? Barry Sanders retired. One of the greatest running backs, if not the greatest running back to ever exist. He suddenly retires at 99. And then right after that, just like clockwork, the team collapsed. Their peak was just 7 years. Pretty good peak. But not good enough. Then let's fast forward to the Megatron and Matthew Stafford era. In 2011, they went 10-6, a decent playoff team. And then in 2014, they go 11-5 with a strong roster consisting of Matthew Stafford, Megatron, and Ndamukong Suh. Both times eliminated in the wild card. Megatron retires, another legend destroyed by a losing, terribly run organization with no clear path to sustained excellence. Man, it's sad to see when you got 2 legendary players that literally your team forced into retirement because it just couldn't handle the losing. They couldn't handle your organization. It was so bad, Megatron spent like 10 years without even watching a football game because he was just so broken by your organization. Pretty sad. And then, after he retires, Ndamukong Suh leaves, and rebuild starts all over, right after that collapse. Man, this peak lasted 5 to 6 years. Not as good as the Barry Sanders led it peak. And now, let me see here. Let me turn that up, Mike. Thanks for letting me know, brother. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Maybe the music is drowning me out a little bit there. And now we're in the 2020s, in the Dan Campbell era. 2022 was their first winning season, a whopping 9-8 record. Hey, that's not bad for a team that was rocking a last place schedule for so long. In 2023, you guys went 12-5, an NFC championship run that predictably you guys choked away. So sad, but expected. And then we got the 2024 Super Bowl favorites. Man, before the season started, everybody had you guys pegged to win the Super Bowl. During the season, everybody had you guys pegged to win the Super Bowl. And then going into the playoffs, it was almost a foregone conclusion that you guys were going to win the Super Bowl. But then what happened? Eliminated by a rookie quarterback-led Commanders. Ooh, man. It's pretty embarrassing. Man, it must suck to have JD5 as your daddy. Ooh-wee! Must suck to be a Lions fan right now. If you guys were able to see the writing on the wall, that is. And now, we're going into 2025. Your coordinators have left for other teams. Expensive roster is looming. Guys, you guys are on the downside of your rise, let's say. Now, I've gone ahead and categorized this or kind of set it up so it's easy for you Lions fans to understand. I call it the phases of collapse. It's the Lions' DNA. Phase 1. You guys have already experienced that. You guys, it's called the rise. Your team builds, or talent builds, hype grows. And then, phase 2 comes along. The missed window. A playoff loss that should have been the breakthrough to the promised land. Phase 3, we got the brain drain. Coordinators and staff are poached by other teams. And that brings us to phase 4, where free agents leave and players see the writing on the wall. Phase 4, attrition. Free agents leave. Players see the writing on the wall. And last but not least, we got phase 5, the collapse. The locker room falls apart. People get fired. And the rebuild starts. Right now, you Lions are sitting comfortably between phase 2 and 3. It's just a matter of time, guys, for history to repeat itself. Now, look, I'm not blind. My Vikings haven't won a Super Bowl either. We've been there 4 times and lost every single one. We've had heartbreaks. We've had irrelevant years too. But here's the difference. Sustained success throughout our history. From 1969 to 1976, the Purple People Eaters made it to 4 Super Bowl appearances in 8 years. Sorry, I misspoke there. Maybe I was trying to speak it into existence. We appeared in 4 Super Bowls in 8 years. We didn't win one, but we were always in the hunt. And then fast forward to 1987 through to 1998. The Dennis Green years were full of playoff staples. In 1998, we had arguably the most prolific offense in the history of the NFL. Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Randall Cunningham. Unfortunately, we had NFL championship heartbreak once again. But still, it was an era of dominance. Then we got the 2009 Favre year. Favre comes in, takes the team to the NFC Championship. You know, I will argue to the death that Bounty Gate changed the outcome of that season. Because if they don't injure all those players and get a bunch of cheap wins that way, they probably wouldn't have been in the playoffs. And the playoffs would have played out a heck of a different way. Now, I'm not saying that we would have guaranteed won that Super Bowl that year, but our outcome may have been different. We'll never know, unfortunately. You know, when you got a coach, a piece of garbage like Sean Payton, that's what happens. Bounty Gate comes from that. We were one play away from the Super Bowl. It is what it is. We're not gonna hang on to those bad memories any longer. Now let's move on. We got 2017. Case Keenum leads a miracle win versus the Saints. Karma hits the Saints and Sean Payton twofold. You guys don't remember, but I do. In that third quarter of the Minneapolis Miracle game, Michael Thomas runs a rub route and intentionally runs into Andrew Zandejo, where he got knocked out, physically knocked out, had to get carted off to the sideline. What happened after that? Drew Brees kept throwing to the backup over and over and over, and that's how they got back into the game. And if it wasn't for karma and the football gods, for lack of a better way of saying it, those Saints would have won. But no. When you're that dirty and you're that pathetic, karma comes at the most opportune moments. And we all know what happened next. Stephon Diggs, the Minneapolis Miracle, was one of the greatest moments I've ever witnessed live. I'm getting chills down my back just thinking about it. Ooh, Vikings fans, you know what I'm talking about. You know, it's just more proof of us staying relevant, always finding ways to make playoff runs and trying to contend to get that Super Bowl. Now, we're sitting in 2022, present KOC/McCarthy era. You know, Kevin O'Connell was hired, and we've won significantly more than we've lost. Our offense has grown year to year. Our defense is lights out. Brian Flores has transformed a bottom-of-the-pack unit when he took over, made them into a top 15 defense, then made them into a top 10 defense, and arguably a top 5 defense now. Flores is a proven innovator, improving every year, just like KOC. KOC's been growing as a play caller, showing a trajectory, an upward trajectory, which is why I don't dog on him. Because I've learned through my work experience in my career to never dog someone when they're showing improvement. I've made that mistake. Oh, I've made that mistake a few times with some trainees. And every single time, I broke them. And shortly after, they ended up quitting. So I'm not going to dog on KOC. I'm going to let him to keep improve, even if it's not at the speed that I want. Because progress and growth always trumps high expectations. Now, the difference between these Lions and our Minnesota Vikings is in both of our DNAs. They're the rerun kings. They do the same thing every 10 to 20 years. They rise, they climb so high and they can't break through, and then they collapse, just like clockwork, back down to a last place schedule. They're not like us. We're different in just about every level. We have a franchise winning percentage that is top 10 all time. The Lions? Good luck finding them anything else other than the bottom of that list, because they don't even have a winning percentage as a franchise. They're like 604 to like 700 and some odd losses. That, ladies and gentlemen, is evidence of who they are. They're the rerun kings. We've seen it all before, and I'm not impressed. The Vikings have always been competitive in basically every decade. We've never had 20 years or 20 plus years of irrelevance like you guys have. Our organizational stability has been great throughout the years. We've had Bud Grant, Dennis Green, Mike Zimmer, KOC. Consistent leadership. The difference between all these different rises and pushes to contend for a Super Bowl is that it shows that we don't do the same thing every single time like you guys do. You guys build a nice little roster every once in a while, and then you guys do nothing with it and collapse. We continuously win, and we try to find different ways to try to get to the promised land. And finally, for the first time ever, we are building a strong foundation. We're doing it the way that Jordan did, the way the Patriots did. You know, this era of football that we're in right now, it's not covered in the documentaries when they talk about the greatest dynasties of all time. They conveniently gloss over this period. But, mark my words, every single dynasty before us has gone through this process, even though it's not brought up. It only starts. The documentary only starts when they first start winning and succeeding. We haven't gotten to that point yet. But I'm telling you, it's just around the corner. Our culture, our fans, they demand championships. And I get it. With sustained excellence the way that we've had for decades, even in winning years, we want and we set expectations for Super Bowls because we are that great of a franchise, and we know that we will continue to push for those, and that's why we set those high expectations. So I don't dog on our fans that read a little bit too much into the Kool-Aid or drink too much Kool-Aid. I get it. I totally get it. Lions fans, they celebrate playoff appearances like they're hanging out championship banners. You know why? Because they've become accustomed to being irrelevant. Jokes even. So when they get a little bit of relevance, they want to let everybody know. So I get it. Puff out your chest, guys, while you got it. Because the collapse is coming. It's just a reoccurring trend. Don't trust my words. Go fact check me yourself. Go see if anything that I said about your Detroit Lions history is wrong. I guarantee you it's not. I do a really, really good job of researching and data mining, identifying patterns, and the patterns that I see in your organization. Boys. Like I said, you ain't nothing but a rerun show. Nothing but hype. And the truth is coming. But you guys, enjoy it while it lasts, guys. You know, like I said, we tried different approaches. We tried dominant defenses, the purple people eaters, purple rain. We've tried explosive offenses, Moss and Carter. We've brought in legendary quarterbacks to try to get us over the hump, like Brett Favre. And now, we're building that balanced foundation with KOC and Flores, and we've brought in a lottery pick to develop him into the franchise quarterback that he more than certainly has the potential of becoming one day. One day soon, I might add. Now, let's look at, present day, diverging futures, if you will. Detroit. It's getting close to the end of the cycle. You guys already lost coordinators. Your expensive roster is about to start playing a factor here. And then before you know it, the cracks are going to start forming. Your coaches, your offensive and defensive coordinators already see the writing on the wall. They know They've missed the highest probability of winning a Super Bowl. So they want to get out while they can still get a big paycheck for what they've done. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them whatsoever. But right after the brain dissolving that you guys, the brain loss, the brain hemorrhage, the guys that really have turned your organization around, once they're gone, it's only a matter of time before your locker room starts whittling away from all these superstar talents as they get poached and they start to realize what the writing on the wall says. Now, Minnesota, we're at the beginning of something new. We got stable coaching, a roster that's stacked, a defense that's been incredible and continues to get better, and an offense that is improving, regardless of what a 4-game sample size might lead you to believe. Now, it isn't glamorous. Dynasties never look glamorous at the start. That's why they're never covered in the documentaries. But this, what we got going on, what we got building here in Minnesota, it's the era, the beginning of a massive run that only some of the smartest guys give myself a little pat on the back there can see coming. I know there's a lot of other you guys that see this. I see the optimism in the channels, in the comment sections of all the Vikings videos that I watch. I know you guys are out there. I see that you guys are out there and see what I see. So I tip my hat to you guys. But you know what? Detroit fans are just celebrating the end of their cycle. They just don't know it. And Vikings, we're just watching the beginning of ours. Oh, man. Now, the Lions aren't building a dynasty, guys. Let's get it straight. They're just recycling history. And the Vikings? We're building something that history hasn't seen from us yet. And that's always how it starts for the dynasties that we've seen in modern history. All right, and that is everything that I have prepared here for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed story time, history time, because I feel like sometimes some people need to be reminded of what came before and what can be easily predicted. Because you know what they say, the best predictor of future outcomes is past examples and experience. So yeah, I hope you guys liked big old story time here. Let me get caught up here with we have New Mexico in the house, Mike Sports Vibe, Eric, Raquel, and Florinda. Happy belated birthday, Raquel, if I'm not mistaken. Big J. Mr. Big J, Mr. Bears fan here. Is that what it is? Or are you a Lions fan? Oh, Jay, sounds like you're a Lions fan. Hey, little history lesson for you since you conveniently ignore the truth. Tell me, which team basically gave you guys your quarterback? Because they knew that he could never win a Super Bowl. And how many years after you guys had to drink the Jared Goff Kool-Aid before you saw him collapse against JD5, a rookie quarterback? Sorry to say, bro, you don't got a quarterback. Not a playoff caliber one, at least. You got a regular season merchant. Good for you. You guys are going to go down in history as the regular season giants that could never pull one off. Oh, no. Man, your best chance was last year. And what happened? What happened? I was told before the season, oh, it's Detroit's Lions. It's the Detroit Lions season. We might as well not even play the season. They're going to win the Super Bowl halfway through the season and throughout the entire season. Oh, the Super Bowls are going to win. The Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. It's just so obvious. And then going into the playoffs, I was told by delusional Lions fans like yourself, we're going to win the Super Bowl. What happened? Hold on, let me remember, because you don't really remember at all. Your so-called quarterback that you guys have, what happened? He proved the Rams right? Didn't he choke against a rookie-led team? Did you forget that Jaden Daniels is your daddy? Oh, these delusional Lions fans, man. You guys are in for it, and you guys don't even realize it. It's so funny. Don't worry, man. Just like clockwork, you're about to hit your collapse. You've already started losing your coordinators. Your roster's so expensive, you're not going to be able to keep them long enough to make another sustained run. And then you'll slowly lose all your players, and then your locker room, and then you'll collapse like you do all the time. Because you guys are nothing but rerun merchants. You guys just recycle the past and never do anything different. Because if you did, you would have won the Super Bowl last year, or maybe even the year before. But unfortunately, these Lions fans are straight garbage. Oh my God. Imagine talking all that and you have Goff as your quarterback. Did you forget? You honestly forgot that the Rams gave you him and a backup quarterback and a whole bunch of, they basically gave him away and took Stafford from you. A guy that you guys couldn't do nothing with. A guy that you guys were convinced couldn't get you there. And what did he do once he left? He won one, right? This is how bad your organization is. You guys don't even realize when you guys are getting robbed and you guys smile. Jared Goff. Oh my God, that's hilarious, man. Oh my God. Oh well. It is what it is. Delusional Lions fans, don't worry. You guys are right in between phase 2 and 3. You guys missed your window. And now you've hit the brain drain. Your coordinator's left. Your staff is getting poached. And next comes the collapse. So enjoy it while it lasts, boys, because you're not that far from falling back down to irrelevance where you guys belong. On a last place schedule for decades at a time. Remember, you guys are the organization that robbed the NFL of 2 legends. Megatron didn't even watch football for like 10 plus years because you literally destroyed the love of the game. Because you guys are so hot garbage. So talk that talk, Lions. You guys can't escape the reoccurring pattern of failure that you guys do. And that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys had a great one. It's always fun dunking on these dumb Lions fans. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We'll be back next week with another history lesson. Probably not the Lions. How about the Packers or the Bears? They've actually been pretty reasonable this year. It's just these delusional Lions that sometimes need to get knocked down a peg or two. All right, guys. Have a good one.